It's Grant who's got the goal from the free kick, and we're heading for extra time now, surely.
Domingo! It is 2-0, and that now surely seals the K-League title for John Buckman Motors.
You're listening to the K-League United podcast, proud partner of Football Nation Radio.
Hello, annyeonghaseyo. Welcome to the K-League United pre-match show. Yes, I'm Matthew Binns, and I'm joined by Ryan Walters. Ryan, it's been a while since we've done one of these, and we've got the music in the background, which we've missed. You've gone for some effort for this pre-match show, Ryan.
Yeah, I've always wanted to do the whole like newscaster hand in your ear thing, but now I understand why they do it, because I can't hear much here in the stadium beyond these sweet tunes playing in the background. But yeah, there it is. Okay, now I can hear you, Matthew. That's going to start right back up because I've been listening to it for about 6 hours.
Hey, it's not Seoul World Cup Stadium though. It's not.
It's
that
not.
level.
There's no man that's just screaming in my ear. Actually, the announcer here has a great voice. I've been very much enjoying it.
Yeah.
Here it is.
Well,
all right, hit me. What do you got?
Well, speaking of not being Seoul World Cup Stadium, we're not talking about FC Seoul. We are talking about Jeonnam Dragons. But first, before we get into that, how are things treating you in Thailand? Like, what is the situation like over there at the moment, COVID-wise? Is it easy enough to get there in Korea?
Yeah. It's hot. It's 37 degrees during the day right now. But don't worry, it feels like 44.
Oh, good.
It's Songkran. It's the holiday season right now, celebrating the hottest time of the year. And usually you celebrate by everybody gets out in the street and you throw water on each other. But that is not happening this year for obvious reasons. But no, getting in was actually really easy. The Thai government's done a fantastic job of streamlining things. It was a very easy process to get the Thai pass is what you need to get in. A one-day quarantine, chilling in a hotel, watching Netflix, and then I was out and about, and they let me come here. And
And when you say here, well, you're in the stadium where your beloved Jeonnam Dragons are going to be featuring. So Jeonnam, you're there. You're following Jeonnam for work, but also as a fan. How does it feel to be? How does it feel to be in Thailand taking this in?
It's still pretty surreal. I think the first match, it actually kind of worked out for me because the first match was BG versus Melbourne City, which was a great match. And it felt like I was doing work, that I was here for my job. But now the Dragons are out there. They were just warming up a minute ago. And it's really weird seeing Jeonnam being in another country, seeing the Dragons out there. I'm loving it. I'm definitely staying impartial. There's no way that my professionalism on the accounts that I'm involved with will be compromised. My personal one, though. Well, we're going to have fun.
Oh, yeah. I hope so. I'll be looking forward to reading the mess tomorrow morning when we do our post-game show, which will be tomorrow morning.
Yes,
but more about that
Riverside
later.
Chat.
It's pre-match now, and we've got to get it in before the match begins. So, first question, and I've seen some people on Twitter, what's the fan situation like over there in this stadium?
Yeah, actually, I did see a little bit about this during the first game, saying that it didn't really come through on the broadcast. There were over 3,000 fans, just over 3,000, I should say, for the first match. It's 50% capacity right now. And as you can see behind me, this is a three-sided stadium here in Pathumthani. So it's not a massive stadium by any stretch of the imagination, but the BG fans were making noise. It was a really, really good atmosphere. Tirsal Dangda's equalizer, the place was super loud. It felt really good. It felt like a Champions League match. I heard that didn't come through on the broadcast, which is a shame because those fans did a really great job. There are about 200 fans that stuck around for this one. I'm going to say 200. Good on them. Future best friends in the away end.
Any familiar faces in that away end?
In the away end, no. But I feel like half of the people I know on Twitter were in the media room today. So that's been fun.
Yeah, well, let's get to Jeonnam.
Let's do
the
it.
lineups are out, Ryan. Any surprises? Well, first, how's the team looking?
Yeah. I managed to get some dinner in between the games and take a look at the lineup. I think this is a pretty good lineup. I mean, I'm a little surprised that Katarava is on the bench. I think he's obviously there to be a little bit of a change of pace. I think what they're planning on doing, looking at this lineup, is that they're going to try to hit them quickly. Like, this is a very quick, smaller lineup. They're not necessarily going to be playing the way that we're used to them seeing them in K-League 2, I don't think, where it's all the balls into the box from wide. I think in this one, and really, and I'm sure we'll get into this as well, this is the match that the Dragons have to win. If you can start the group with a win, it's absolutely massive. So this, to me, is a must-win game right out the gate. Mm-hmm. And I see what they're doing. I do like the idea of trying to run them off the pitch, but a team from South Korea coming over to Thailand and trying to run a team from the Philippines off the pitch in this heat is going to be an interesting choice. So I think it's about the lineup you would expect from the Dragons. For United City, this is largely an unknown club because there was no Philippines League last year. And so they are here as the reigning Filipino champions simply because there was no league last year, and they're missing their talisman, Stefan Schrock, and Bienvenido Miernan is also parted ways. He's with JDT, so he's playing soon as well, hopefully. But with those two absences, this is a big test for United City to just kind of see what kind of team they are.
Yeah, going back to our podcast, 20 players left from what I remember listening to, and only a few remain. The spine kind of remains. Michael Ott was the key player that was picked up.
And he's in the starting 11 today.
Yeah, captain today, captain for the squad. But going back to Jeonnam, are there any real concerns looking at that lineup? Anything you think United City could exploit?
I don't necessarily see any flaws in the lineup. My concern would come in with how they approach this tactically. Again, I think this is a match they need to come out, and I don't see any reason that the goal shouldn't be to score within the first 15 minutes, to be honest. And this is no disrespect to United City. They haven't played competitive football in a year. No. And this is Champions League, and the Dragons aren't in mid-season form, but the season's been going for a little while in K2, as we know. So lineup-wise, I don't necessarily think there are any holes there. We have seen in K2, we've seen that the Dragons, they do have an occasional mistake in them defensively, but who doesn't? And I also, again, the lineup isn't necessarily the concern that I have going into this. It's how they're going to play in the first 5, 10, 15, 20 minutes that I think is going to determine a lot. Because if they try to sit back and win this thing 1-0, 2-0, something like that, I just think that's a recipe for disaster.
Well, we're given United City's problems. Well, given that they haven't played professional football, would you consider this is like an ideal first match for Jeonnam, really? Because
I mean, again, we have to keep saying no disrespect, and it's not their fault. It's not United City's fault that their league got canceled. We're all living through a global pandemic. But especially if you looked at BG and Melbourne City go at each other in that first game, I don't think you want to go against either of them. I do think the nice thing in that first match, and we'll probably talk about this more tomorrow, is that there were plenty of chances created by both sides. So I don't think the Dragons are afraid of anybody in this group. But this has to be considered the ideal opener for the Dragons to go against a side that hasn't played in a year. That has to be the best option.
Certainly. Well, we're going to get we're going to start wrapping things up a little bit, because I know you want to get in position and start doing the usual. Anybody who's been sat next to Ryan at a Jeonnam game knows that he's a swayer. It's a back and forth
luckily,
motion.
The BG media crew has pretty much cleared out from the first game. There are going to be a lot of people wondering what the noises that I'm making are during this game. I'll keep it professional. Don't worry. But I am hoping to get into the stands for one of the later games. We'll see.
We'll see. But Paul has come in. He's banking on Lord In Hyuk, or Park In Hyuk, for those uninitiated into the In Hyuk religion. But that he's banking on Lord In Hyuk to be the difference. Would you agree?
I missed you for a second. I heard Lord and Hyuk, then would you agree? So,
would you agree he's going to be the difference?
Oh, well, I agree. He's going to be the difference maker. I mean, he certainly could be. He obviously plays a pivotal role in the team. That I think he's more there for the close matches, and I'm hoping this isn't a close match. So I'm hoping the difference maker again is the fact that the Dragons are just better prepared.
Fair enough. And well, it's been a while since we've done a pre-match, so you know what I'm going to ask you. How's it going to play out? Give us a prediction.
Yeah, I do think the Dragons are going to get a win in this one. I think 3-0, 4-0 is what they should be aiming for, and I think it'll finish 3-0. The Dragons haven't exactly been lighting the league on fire in K2, but this is very different competition, and I think this is one as well where, again, when you saw BG and City go at it, not your City. In that first game, it finished 1-1. There were a ton of chances for both teams. BG absolutely should have had another one in there. So you know that those teams are capable of scoring. So I think the Dragons in this one, they need to make a statement. And they need to go out there and they do need to get multiple goals on the board. 1-0 win, fine, whatever. I just don't think that's good enough in this one. So I do think that they will go out there and I think they'll get 3 or 4 goals. And I think they'll get 3 points and they'll be top of the group.
Well, you've got that first match optimism, which is good for now. We'll obviously be tuning into you throughout the stages of the tournament to assess your assessment, to assess your assessment, to assess your well-being throughout this, and as Jeonnam progress. But that's speaking of assessment. We will be back tomorrow morning. Yes, that's right. We're getting up for breakfast. We're doing a morning live stream, the first one we've done, I believe. And
Paul and I have done daytime TV. Get out of here with that.
You've done daytime TV, but have you done a morning show on a Saturday? Well, we're gonna find. It's gonna be fun. So we're gonna be going through all 3 games tonight, and we're also gonna be previewing the Jeonnam clash ahead of tomorrow. So tune in tomorrow for that if you're listening now. But Ryan, all I can say is enjoy the match. Jeonnam are back in Champions League and just take it all in as best as you can and try to keep it as professional as possible.
I won't stand up when we score.
All right. Okay.
Probably.
Okay. All right. Well, I'll chat to you tomorrow, Ryan, and for any of our listeners as well, hope you enjoy the game tonight, and we'll see you tomorrow.
We'll see you tomorrow. Let's go Dragons.
Take care.
정조선 공용 폭격기 김신우